As the Trump administration continues to prioritize cutting government spending, some are wondering if federal funding could be withheld for major projects. That includes the $4 billion Panasonic plant in DeSoto, Kansas, which could receive nearly $7 billion in federal tax incentives from the Inflation Reduction Act. KSHB 41's Alyssa Jackson focusing her reporting on Johnson County and has been reporting on the Panasonic plant and its impacts on the local economy. Well, tonight she looks into possible effects the Trump administration could have on the massive development.
We've told you about the billions of dollars being committed on all levels of government for the Panasonic electric vehicle facility in DeSoto. I've walked you through the local incentives and the state incentives. It's the federal money, though, that could be in limbo under the new presidential administration. The Inflation Reduction Act, or IRA, passed in 2022. Its focus included clean energy technology and manufacturing. The Advanced Manufacturing Credit under the legislation received support along party lines. The provision incentivizes electric vehicle factories with $1 billion a year to encourage production. For Panasonic, it could total $6.8 billion, but there's uncertainty on whether that funding will be repealed under President Trump. In the past month, President Trump says he intends to save the government and taxpayers money. Attempts to freeze funding include certain provisions of the IRA, like some funding for electric vehicles. One executive order mentions eliminating the electric vehicle mandate and considering the elimination of, quote, unfair subsidies and other government-imposed market distortions that favor EVs over other technologies. What could this mean for Panasonic? We don't know if the advanced manufacturing credit will be affected. I did reach out to Kansas's congressional delegation. Congresswoman Sharice Davids was the only yes for the bill and the only reply we received.
What is unacceptable is uncertainty when budgets have already been created. Those things should be adhered to, and those obligations that the federal government makes should not ever be uncertain for anyone.
When I sat down with Governor Laura Kelly last month, she mentioned that uncertainty and how we will have to see if any directives from the president ultimately impact Panasonic.
Federal funding is incredibly important. You know, it's just like our local communities can't deal without a partnership with the state. There are just some things we can't do if we don't have the support of the federal government.
Remember, the EV tax credits had support from Republicans and Democrats. Discussions about repealing the IRA didn't only start when President Trump took office. Just over a year ago, a group of Republicans sent a letter to the House Speaker advocating for the tax credits to remain. There are legal hurdles. The Trump administration cannot unilaterally stop clean energy tax credits or congressionally mandated funding. Judges have already halted attempts from the president to freeze federal funding. I reached out for comment from Panasonic on the potential impact of the federal funding being reversed. Part of their statement says, quote, while our commitment began before the passage of the IRA manufacturing tax credits that encourage the EV supply chain investment and is making the United States an even better place to build the newest electric vehicle battery technology and accelerate the expansion of more transportation options for Americans. In the studio, Alyssa Jackson, KSHB 41 News.